while since I did any videos, so it's a little bit strange just starting back out with the camera. I am filming on the outside. As you can see, this is my porch, and of course, you know, you have to bear with me when you hear some of the vehicular noises that are passing right in front of my house, so just bear with me. I am filming on a very brand spanking new camera, so bear with me as I sort of learn the ins and outs of this camera, because it's a little bit more complicated than the last one that I used. Yeah, so hopefully I should be used to this one very soon. It's about learning to operate the camera efficiently and making sure focus and everything like that is on point. So that being said, a lot has been happening that prevented me from filming. Of course, I am a working makeup artist, so the problem is that usually around this time of the year, it is so saturated with clients, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's really good for me, but again, it's horrible for my filming schedule. And then on top of that, it's the vacation period, of course, and a lot of you know that I have a little boy, and even though it's been vacation, I decided to stick him into a camp, which means that I had to get up like usual and drop him off at an even earlier time than his regular primary school needed him to be there for. So yeah, that was fun. But it is finishing today. Today, in fact, is the last day of that camp. So thank God I can get up a little bit earlier on mornings, which means that I can now film at night once more. That being said, my birthday was this past week gone. Well, I don't know what day this video will go up, but my birthday was the 4th of August. And because of that, it's been such a long time since I've actually attempted to, you know, to do a giveaway again, that I decided, you know what, it's my birthday week, or it's my birthday month rather, but I'm going to start off my new set of videos with a very new camera. This truck not serious about life. Anyways, I decided to start off my very first video with the very first camera by doing a giveaway. Right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 giveaways. They're not all going to be at the same time. It's actually going to be different themes, and they're also going to be on different aspects of my social media. So one is going to be on my Facebook page, Bella Paraiso, which is going to be the biggest of the giveaways. The other one is going to be for my YouTube channel, one is going to be for my Twitter, and one is also going to be for Instagram. You can enter all of them, and it's simply a matter of posting a comment under each contest post, I suppose. So you will see a photo of the particular group or the assortment of products that I'm offering you under that specific social media, and you simply go and post a comment under there to enter yourself. You can enter more than once, and it is not going to be based on any sort of voting or any likes or anything of that matter. For each and every single aspect of the competition, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's a Facebook page, I am going to use the random number generator, and if I generate a random number 52, I'm going to look for that 52nd comment and see who's the winner via that way. The way that you enter each competition is you must be subscribed to me on all aspects of the social media. So it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and my Facebook page, Bella Paraiso, in order to enter for any of the contests. So even if you're entering on Twitter, you need to be subscribed to me on all of those social networks in order to win the prize. And I will be checking to make sure that you are, because I will ask you, once a winner is selected, I will ask you to give me your screen names or your usernames under which you are subscribed to me in each social media aspect. So that is one way I will control, you know, who, if it's fairly done. Right, so let me get into it really quickly. I just want to go through the prizes with you today. And this is for all of them. This is not this particular giveaway. At the end of this video, I will show you what we are going to give away. Now, each giveaway is going to be sort of staggered. So I may have one this week, I may have one next month, and so on and so on and so on. There are 4 giveaways in total. You have to keep sort of active on my social groups in order to know when the videos are coming out or when they're being posted. I may not do a video for all of the giveaways announcing that they're started, but I will definitely mention them in, you know, whatever tutorial I'm doing at that point in time. So even if I'm doing a separate look and I have my, let's say, Twitter giveaway coming out this week, I will definitely put a mention in the video that the Twitter giveaway is starting, right? Each of the contests will be running for about a week long. So you will have a fairly long period of time to qualify for the giveaways. So let's get started. Now, as I said, some of them are very themed. I am not sure which I am going to give on what account, if I'm going to do this one for Twitter, that one for whatever. I wouldn't really know until I decide what I want to do, but I'm just going to show you the products that I bought for you. Excuse me. The first haul that I have is specifically for hair. These are some of my favorite products that I use personally. They're products that I've used in the past and I absolutely love them. So I bought together you know, some drugstore and some, well, pretty much mostly high-end stuff regarding hair care. So the first thing we have, okay, so the next haul that I have is actually a nail haul. Right, so that's it for the nail polish section. Again, I will be adding a few more things to this one by the time I'm ready to do the giveaway. And let's move on to the good stuff, which is the makeup. I have two giveaways for this. I have a smaller one and then I also have a larger giveaway. The larger giveaway would more than likely be for my, either of these would be either for my YouTube channel or for my Facebook page. I'm not sure which one is going to be where. Okay, so let me start with the smaller one. Again, supplement this haul with a couple other products, but this is what I have for now. Here is the very big haul. It's the last haul that I have for the actual official giveaways. So basically that's it for these hauls. Those are the products that I have for those 4 specific hauls. Again, one is going to be held on my YouTube, one is going to be held on my Twitter, one is going to be held on my Instagram, and one is going to be held on my Facebook page. So look out for these products. Now, as a side note, this is what, no, I'm not starting the what do you call it, the official giveaways just yet. But the reason I'm doing this video as well, so now there is going to be a giveaway with this video, but it's not going to be any sort of official type of thing. So it's really going to be contained here on YouTube. Basically, again, it's going to be randomly selected. I don't want anybody accusing me of being, you know, biased towards anybody else, because I'm not about that life. This is, again, not brand new. I stress that over and over and over again. These are used products that I've had from my professional kit that I no longer have use for. Everything has been sterilized. Everything that has been used, like brushes or whatever has been washed and dried and treated with the utmost care. All the palettes have been sterilized, lipsticks have been sterilized, everything that can be sterilized has been sterilized, and everything that cannot be sterilized was not given or included in this little giveaway. Again, there's no specific thing that you have to do. Just simply be a member of my YouTube page, be a subscriber here, and what you're doing is just simply putting a comment below saying what video you would like for me to do next, what look that you would like for me to do. That is all you are doing. Put a comment below in this video and you will, the person who's randomly chosen of all of the comments, you are going to get this. You will have to be willing to meet with me for whether it's this what do you call it, this giveaway or any other giveaway that I have. You will have to be willing to meet with me in order to collect this on a predetermined date at a certain location. And you will also, it is only open to people in Trinidad. It is open to people in Tobago if you are willing to come to me in Trinidad to collect your prize. Now, as I said, all of these are things that were used before, but they were used in my professional kit, so they were handled with the most sanitary of situations. So these are just a collection of things that I no longer have use for, and rather than throw them away, I mean, my mom and my sisters, they have way too much stuff, and so do I. Usually what I would do is whatever I don't use in the kit, I would keep for myself, but my taste has gotten so specific now that I know what I like and what I will use and will not use. So because of that, rather than throw this away, I'd rather just give it to somebody out there who would like to have it. Okay, so you guys hear the criteria for this particular giveaway. You need to just simply leave a comment below saying what video you would like for me to film next. And again, it's going to be chosen by a randomly generated number based on the number of comments that I have. So let's first start with sort of powdered cheek products and face products. This is the e.l.f. High Definition Cream Blush, and it's called Headliner, which is this sort of a pinky color here. I probably used this twice. Again, never directly from there. I palm on the back of my hand and I would apply using a brush. This is the e.l.f. blush in Berry Merry, which is a really pretty berry shade as the name suggests. And again, I barely use this, and if I did use it, it was with a sterile brush every single time. So this is what it looks like. This one here is the e.l.f. Complexion Perfection. Now the only thing that's wrong with this is that the mirror sort of comes loose, but again, it's not really that necessary. This is what it looks like. This is the sort of 4 color tone correcting powder. Now I have hit a little bit of pan on this, but again, once again, I use this only with sterile brushes, and each of these powdered products has been sterilized. This is just, again, a good way for you to try some of these products without having to come out of pocket to purchase. Now this is the e.l.f. Golden Bronzer. Again, I used to use this, but I got rid of them because, you know, I would have upgraded my products to MAC products and more high-end sort of products. So again, rather than just having it sitting there and no one using it, I just decided to give them away. Right, so aside from those, I have a few pencil products. This here is the NYX, this is the eyebrow stick in Auto Eyebrow Pencil, and this is in dark brown. On one end we have a retractable sort of pencil that has a little bit of an angle to it, again sterilized, and then on this end we have a brush that you can use to comb it out. This one here is the Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeliner. I've actually never used this before. This is in the color green. These make fantastic colored liners for the waterline. I find the brand a very good alternative, cheap alternative to even more pigmented, more high-end brands. So this is in green. This one here is an Avon Soft Black Brow Liner. Now you can use this as a pencil on the waterline if you're looking for more of a soft color, or for persons like myself who have very, very dark eyebrows, you can actually use this to fill in the tail end only of your eyebrow. You don't want black all the way inside of here. That's a no-no. Black should not even be on your eyebrows, in my opinion. But again, if you have very black hairs like mine, sometimes it is necessary to sort of make the tail end of your eyebrow a little bit stronger. And this tends to look much more natural. Now it is a soft black, so it looks much more natural than applying like a solid black. This here is the LA Colors Jumbo Eye Pencil, and this is in the color Cool Party, which is a really pretty sparkly blue. Again, this has been used once, never on somebody's eye. I just put a little bit on the back of my hand and picked it up using a brush. Again, these can be used on the waterline, they can be used as eyeshadow bases, which is how I use them. So that is a fairly good, it's a beautiful color for the waterline especially. So let's move on. I have here some lipsticks as well. Now these would be sort of cut at an odd angle because, as I said, I usually depot my lipstick, so I would cut them off and then put them inside of these little container thingies. So they are not full lipsticks, obviously. This one only has like a tiny bit remaining, but they are still very good. These are from LA Girl. They are all from LA Girl, and you've heard me rave about this formula before. These are very nice. They're nice and opaque. This one is sort of, this one was what? A mauve, which is a really pretty, this is a really pretty sort of skin colored nude. This one here has a little bit more of a plummy sort of color to it. This one is called Fling, which I have raved about so many times before. Just a stark nude color on the lips. It's beautiful. Again, I have upgraded these with MAC lipsticks and more high-end products, so that's why I'm getting rid of them. And I'm not a creamy lipstick type of fan. I tend to favor super mattes, so this is why these just do not make sense to me. This is called Secret Admirer, which is like a Barbie sort of bubblegum pink. Again, they don't have very much remaining in there, but again, if you want to try the products out before you purchase them, this is a great way in order to do so. I have a couple brushes here as well too. These are from various little sets that I've had that I no longer use or I've never used before. This is the basic e.l.f. eyeshadow application brush. I used to use this in my kit. I had a couple of these, but then of course I upgraded to MAC brushes, and I have a couple of like crown brushes in there that I've really gotten attached to, so I have no use for these anymore. Again, they have been used before, but they've been washed and completely sterilized using alcohol and sort of cleansing agents like that. So again, this is a basic eyeshadow brush. Yet again, another eyeshadow brush. This one has never actually been used. This is one of their more, I don't want to say flimsy because it's a good quality brush. It's just slightly more thinner. It actually came with one of the e.l.f. box sets. So it's a little bit thinner in quality than the other one, and I love this brush actually for applying like under eyebrow highlight. So it's a really good brush for that. I also have, this came in an e.l.f. kit. Again, I do not use the brushes from this anymore. No, I lie. I actually used two of them and I never used these from the kit. So these have just been sitting here. And this is a complexion brush. But again, you can use this as a blush brush, as a powder brush, whatever the case is. They're super soft. And I believe that they're made to mimic the Echo Tools line. So this one here is a tiny, you can either use this as a lip brush or an eyeliner brush. Now this originally came with my, what do you call these? The LA Girl eyeliner sets like this, but I have so many of them that I had a couple of these laying around extra all over the place. So I have a couple of these and I've included one of them here. It makes such an amazing gel liner brush. It is not even funny. It gives you such precision. I've used them as lip brushes. I have used them even as little smudge brushes underneath the eyes. So these are really fantastic, even though they're tiny. This one here is an e.l.f. powder brush, but again, you've heard so many people talking about this one in particular on YouTube. It is their flat topped sort of brush. Now the only problem with this brush is a little bit loose. The handles tend to come a little bit loose, but it's not completely off. So you will find that it's a little bit loose and it wiggles a little bit, but it performs fantastic. I actually use this in my kit for a very long time and it stands to the test of it. Again, once more, it's washed, it's conditioned, it's sterilized, and it's nice and dry, again, for somebody else who wants to give it a new home. This can be used for liquid foundations. I love this for setting foundation with powder. It's an amazing brush for that. This last one here is a blending eye brush, again from the same collection as this one. And again, it's your basic fluffy blending brush. I've never used this one, so it is sterile, it is clean. It did come from a set, but I'm including it here because it's one of those brushes that I just have laying around and have absolutely no use for it whatsoever. So let's get on to my favorite parts, which are the eyeshadows. Now this is a L'Oreal Duo. It's a little bit beat up, I'll be honest with you, because the writing has been wearing off. I used to use this in a kit. It is the one that's called Flamboyant. If you've never used these before, the hip duos, they are super pigmented and they're amazing. This is a really pretty sort of metallic gold, whereas this here is a matte purple. I love this gold. This was sort of my go-to color for Hindu brides when I did like that yellow sari sort of look. It is a gorgeous gold, and of course this purple is really super pigmented. Again, I've moved on to the sugar pill shadows and more matte shadows. So again, this is why I'm replacing these, but these are perfectly fine. I have here some loose shadow. Now this is just a straight up black shadow pigment, and it is matte. It is one of the most pigmented blacks I have ever used in my entire life. I believe this was a sample that somebody gave me a long time ago, and since then I have taken a little bit out for myself in a little jar, but I tend to favor using more compressed shadows as opposed to these loose ones, but they are really good if you are looking to take, you can add like a little bit of mixing medium to this or a little bit of water and actually create like liquid liners to do little designs, or even to the top, or even to line, you know, like your eyes very Arabic like. It makes such a great black liner. So I'm including that here. And then I have two NYX. These are the Pearl Mania, I believe. I depotted them and placed them into here. One is gunmetal and one is silver. These are gorgeous. These were my go-to colors for doing smoky eyes when I first started off. Once again, I did replace them with higher end products, but they still hold a very special place in my heart. So these are, I believe this one here, which one is which? This one here is gunmetal and this one here is silver. They are super pigmented as well too. And these are almost pretty much all full. I have here, this is a product that I got and I only swatched. Now this is not an actual MAC eyeshadow, but it's one of those like MAC shadows that someone gave me in a goodie bag to try. And it was great quality, it's just that I am very yellow toned. So this color tends to make me, it tends to make me look kind of sick. I hate colors like this. So I just literally swatched it on the back of my hand and never used it again. So I am including this. This is called Purple Haze, but of course this isn't purple, it's more of a periwinkle type color. But the formula is very gorgeous. And if you have sort of lighter brown eyes, if you do like a purple smoky eye, this would make an extremely beautiful all over the lid type of color. I have this, once again, it's another shadow that was given to me as a sample. It's a Rimmel shadow and it's 300 Night Jewel. Again, I only swatched this and I never used it again because it's not the type of color that I tend to gravitate to. And you can pretty much see that the imprint is still inside of here. And this is what it looks like. It's just a really pretty sparkly gunmetal color, great for a smoky eye. This one here is the Maybelline Eye Studio. Now this was given to me by another makeup supplier. Some of the shadows, actually I think it's just the gold shadow, was smashed in this particular quad, and I took some, you know, the way that we fix the broken shadows and all of that, I took some rubbing alcohol, pressed it back in there, and that's why it looks like this. But I pretty much, I think I've used this once before, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous product. The pigmentation on this is ridiculous. Again, it's not the type of thing that I typically reach for, and this is why it's gone particularly unused in my collection. Again, everything has been sterilized that has been used, but again, this is such an amazing product. The brand itself, this quad is such a good quad. The pigmentation is ridiculous on these. And this is in, by the way, this is in 815 Sapphire. And then we have this one, which I did rave about for a while. This is a Beauty Treats Color Mania eye palette. Now I did pick this up. It's one of the cheaper palettes that I have in this sort of lineup. It's the cheapest in fact. It is just a basic palette of neutrals. I did speak about this in, I think it's either a post or a video. They are fantastic neutral colors. Of course, it is a cheaper brand. I think the price is still here, which is $12.95. It is a cheaper brand, and you do get what you pay for in a sense. But with a good primer, and even when you put a base under here, you are going to get the colors showing up. It's just not the type of quality that I typically reach for. And I have so many neutral palettes. I am literally a hoarder. of neutral palettes, that I started going through my collection and looking at what I do not use and what I tend to reach for, and that is what I have whittled my collection down to, which is why I can give away a lot of these. So again, this is the, I have no idea what the name of this palette is. I think it's the Matte Mania Eye palette. It doesn't say a name. So yeah, this is the one with sort of neutrals, a little bit of grays, browns, reddish browns. But it's a fantastic palette to start with if you're just starting out in makeup. All of these items, the reason why I'm giving them away is for people who are trying to sort of get into makeup, trying to build your selection, trying to maybe try a few more products, broaden your range a little bit without necessarily having to spend the extra money to get a product that you may not like. All I simply ask of you is whoever wins this, if you do not use something in particular or you do not like something on yourself personally, to do as I do and simply pass along the product rather than have it just sit there in your drawer doing nothing. Right, so here we go to the palettes now. This is where I think we all will get a little bit excited. Now this palette is one of my most used palette. This is the 28 neutral palette. I love this thing. This was a staple in my kit, but I've since replaced it with a lot of matte eyeshadows that match. Now this has a lot of eyeshadows that have been used up or have shattered over the time that I've had it, but that's okay. There's still a lot of very usable shadows in here, and again, it's a very big selection of colors in here if you are looking for a matte palette. It has a wide range of colors to choose from without having to purchase 1,000,002 palettes. One of my absolute favorite colors of all time is in this palette, and it's this color right here. This reddish brown is literally the best color that you can use as a transition color for anything that you do. So this is the 28 neutral palette. I used to have this in my kit, but I've again since graduated from it. And this one here has literally been almost completely unused. I think I used this in one tutorial if I'm not mistaken, and I did swatch a couple of the colors, but pretty much it's remained unused, and they are gorgeous colors. This is the 28 color Smoky Eyes edition palette. So we have the neutral palette here, and this is the Smoky Eye edition palette. This is fantastic. Look at this. You have purples, you have greens, you have blues, you have grays, you have browns, you have reds and pinks, but my favorites by far is the amount of really pretty sort of eggplants and navies you have in here. This palette is fantastic, and it's pretty much untouched. I've swatched a couple of the colors, as I said, and the pigmentation on this is ridiculous. So again, just another palette that I hate to part with, but to be honest with you, it just really sits there and does absolutely nothing in my drawer because I do not tend to reach for colors like this. So this is the 28, the BH Cosmetics 28 color palette in the Smoky Eyes edition. And then the last palette that I have is actually a high-end palette, and this is the Urban Decay, the black palette. When I first got this, I was all into that smoky eye kind of phase where it was like walking around with a black eye all the damn time. But I have since graduated my style from that, and because of that, I no longer have use for this. The thing with Urban Decay is they tend to repeat a lot of their colors in like palettes that they come out with. They sort of reintroduce the colors over and over and over. So even though these are some really great colors by themselves here, I tend not to reach for this palette because a lot of my more used palettes like the Naked palettes and so on, they would have some of these colors that I would work with. These are really, again, like the palette says, it's black palette. It's supposed to be a smoky eye palette, but these colors obviously can be used on their own. They are not meant to be used with each other. So I don't want you putting this black and then the green on your eye because you will look like you get punched in the eye. They are meant to be used as supplemental colors. So you can use like a lighter color on the lid and then probably use one of these to darken it up and to give a little bit of smoky depth. There is a purple, a gunmetal, a really pretty green down here, a sparkly, it's a black with a gold sort of shimmer running through it, and a really gorgeous navy color up here. And this Urban Decay Blackout is by far the blackest black eyeshadow that I've ever come across in any of the palettes or any of the brands that I've ever worked with. So yeah, this is a staple matte black eyeshadow up here, and you cannot go wrong with this palette. They work wonderful as liners and shadows in and of their own. So this is the Urban Decay Black palette. So that's it for this giveaway. Those last items that I spoke about there are the products that I'm giving away with this particular video. Once again, I am putting a disclaimer that these products have been used at some point in time. They were from my private, from my professional kit. So please be aware of that before you enter for this giveaway. You do not have to do anything special other than be subscribed to this YouTube channel and simply place a comment in the bottom bar below, in the comment section below, stating what video you would like for me to do next. Thank you so much for your patience in watching this video, and of course, hopefully you guys will be seeing me a little bit more often once again. Thank you so much.